Time for another Ask the Expert segment, and joining us now is Eric Hunter with Hunter Financial Mentoring. Eric, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to be back.
Remind our listeners about Hunter Financial Mentoring and how you all are different from other financial help companies.
What it is, one of the main things is that we don't sell a product. We're not selling investments. We're not selling insurance. What we are selling is a different way of thinking, a different way of living, and something that's going to impact your life and your whole family's life.
That's, to think of that people are going to have to adopt a whole new set of thinking, a whole way of thinking about their money. I mean, that's a pretty tall order.
Right. Well,
for you.
That's it. I mean, and sometimes people talk to you, but you can just understand that they're not in that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They're not ready because it is a totally different lifestyle that you're living. And it's one that ultimately is different from the way you've been living previously, but it's different from most everyone that's around you. And that's one of the hardest things.
Are you talking about like a keeping up with the Joneses mentality, that if my next door neighbor is getting all the newest, latest stuff for his house and his yard and his kids, then I need to be getting it too?
Right, yeah, even that, or just, spending without reason, right? So it's one of those, if you're
everybody
around
else
people.
everybody else is going out to eat every night, so we're going to go out to eat every night, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or you're walking through a Walmart and, man, I'd like to have one of those flat screens. When you see there's 24 of them up there at the HD picture, and you just think, I've got the Visa with me, I'll just walk out with it. I mean, people do that every day. I mean, I can't imagine they don't, even in these times. Maybe not as much as they did 4 or 5 years ago, but
even if they don't need it, and even if they really don't have the money for it. Now, Eric, I guess the first thing that you counsel people on is setting up a budget. Is that right?
Right. We really focus on, we look at the foundation of things, right? So we're looking at reasoning. How did you get into this situation, and what's the core problem? That's the
You're
thing.
spending
with
too
us.
much money.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We just don't put a Band-Aid over stuff,
Right.
and it's not a quick fix. And we're setting up a budget. I like to call it a wealth distribution plan. So all we're doing there is...
sounds better than budget.
Yeah, that's it. Well, exactly, because you think about it.
Budget does sound like a forced in, it's forced on you. Oh, God, here I go.
Yeah. Would you rather set up a budget or a wealth distribution plan?
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. When you do that with someone for the first time, I'm going to guess that most of them are surprised at how much money they fritter away over the course of a week or a month.
Right.
Whether it's on coffee or a meal here or a magazine or a download or whatever.
Yeah, eating out, entertainment, that's one of those that sometimes you just have to guess on and then track. And a couple people I've worked with where they just haven't put anything down. And I said, you got to put something, you got to guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously eating something.
Right,
Right. All right. So I'm guessing, too, one thing that you tell people to avoid at all costs is debt. And, I mean, not all debt is the same. Consumer debt, I guess. If you've got the high interest rate credit card or something like that, the worst thing.
Right. I mean, that's ultimately, we're all about paying with cash for the items you buy. Staying away, if you have been using credit cards, you do have credit card debt, stop using them. It's one of those, take them away, throw them away.
Now, is it cash for everything? I mean, if you're going to buy a car, cash, I'm going to guess for a house, maybe you would have an exception there?
Well, that would be the ultimate thing. I mean, it would be great to save up for a house, but that's one thing. When we talk about eliminating your debt in our steps, we're talking about except for your mortgage right off the bat. You would do that on down the line after you've established your big emergency fund, you're saving for retirement, things like that.
How about with companies? I know you work with individuals. Do you work with companies as well to help their employees?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
Definitely. We have a LIFT program. What that is leading individuals in financial thinking. And the thing is the employees is the company's, best asset right there. They're investing in their employees. And it's one of those, if a person has financial stress, the average individual spends or wastes 20 hours a month on, checking emails, making phone calls, looking on the internet because of this financial burden.
I got to keep my Farmville game up to date on Facebook. Come on.
Right, exactly.
I can't neglect my Twitter feed.
Yeah, that's
People
it.
expect to hear from me.
Yeah, update your Facebook.
Yeah, no kidding. Let me ask you something. As far as you mentioned a second ago, paying for things in cash. And I don't do this formally so much, but I'm just, I guess, kind of a dinosaur. That if it's possible and at least convenient, I prefer to pay for stuff in cash. And you will go to places, and sometimes you will be the one person that day who's made them have to actually work out the cash register, and the new kid doesn't know how to work it, or something like that. But beyond just like I don't know that it really does, but I like to think that at least keeps me from buying some things that I really probably don't need to buy or shouldn't buy, and might otherwise. It was just here's the plastic, and there's no transaction that really takes something out of my wallet.
Bingo. No emotion in it when you're using your card because you don't see the money coming in and money going out. You just know it's there. So when you're using your card, there's no emotion. So when you have to break, we were just laughing at breaking that last 20, you don't want to do it because you see it. You see it leaving your hand and coming back in smaller.
I'd just like to say to all the local gas stations, it would be nice if you had some kind of a machine that would take your cash out at the pump like a card, so you don't have to walk inside.
Oh, I'd love it.
What are some of the things that are standing in the way of people who want to eliminate their debt, or at least get on that path toward eliminating their debt?
One thing is coming to grips with that they do have a spending problem, or coming to grips that, hey, I should be more ahead than I am right now. When we talk about ahead, we're talking about we should have more money saved. We shouldn't be living the way we're living with the income that we have. And one of the main things is when you don't put it on paper and when you don't face it, it's almost like it's never there, right? It's kind of like going to sleep before you really talk about a fight you just had. And it's going to be there. It's always there. But by you just turning your back on it makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, do people want to avoid? Because as you say, you put things down in black and white. There's a more stark reality to it,
right?
And and if you can avoid that, maybe your life is easier,
right?
But at some point, there's bound to be a reckoning.
I mean, it's one of those things. After you put it on paper, people find that they have a whole lot more money left over. You may be living paycheck to paycheck with a great income. But yet we put it on paper one time, and all of a sudden you have $1,500 left at the end of the month. Pretty good to me.
We're speaking with Eric Hunter, Hunter Financial Mentoring, and his website is hunterfinancialmentoring.com. You mentioned that you don't sell any products. What do you offer to families who are ready to invest?
One thing is just education.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are nervous about investing. Because a few things. Maybe it's just because of the market and all they hear is what's on TV, what's on the radio. But then the other thing is the learning curve. They're scared to talk with an advisor just because of their lack of knowledge. So what we do is really walk through them, help them understand themselves. So what is their risk tolerance? What are some of their long-term goals? Get them thinking about what they really want out of their investments. And then again, it always goes back to setting up a distribution plan and just making sure that they understand, well, this is how much I can invest each month, and this is possibly what it could grow to.
We're speaking with Eric Hunter, Hunter Financial Mentoring, and that's the website, hunterfinancialmentoring.com. When we come back, we'll talk about college savings and what you recommend for that. Also, some upcoming workshops that you have, and maybe hear a little bit more about you and how you got into this line of work in the first place. We'll